Good morning, fourth graders at Cumberland Elementary School. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, and I'm thinking this is going to be the last reading of the City of Ember. So get prepared, go back in your mind, try to remember the things that we've talked about, that I've read, that we've discussed, that I've mentioned on all of the YouTubes here. So good luck. A few minutes later, Poppy woke up and made fretful noises, and Lena gave her the last of the peas in Dune's pack. "What was that, do you think, in the creature's mouth?" she asked. "Would it be something we could eat? A fruit of some kind? It looked like the pictures of peaches on cans except for the color." They got up and poked around, and soon they came across a plant whose branches were laden with the purple fruits about the size of small beets, only softer. Dune picked one up and cut it open with his knife. There was a stone inside. Red juice ran out over his hands, and cautiously he touched it to his tongue. "Sweet," he said. "If the creature can eat it, maybe we can too," said Lena. "Shall we?" They did. Nothing had ever tasted better. Lena cut the stone out and gave chunks of the fruit to Poppy. Juice ran down their chins, and when they had eaten 5 or 6 apiece, they licked their sticky fingers clean and started to explore again. They went up higher up the slope they were on, wading through flowers as high as their waists, and near the top they came upon a kind of dent in the ground, as if a bit of the earth had caved in. They walked down into it, and at the end of the dent they found a crack about as tall as a person, but not nearly as wide as a door. Lena edged through it sideways and discovered a narrow tunnel. "Send Poppy through," she called to Dune, "and come yourself." But it was dark inside, and Dune had to go back to where he'd left his pack to get a candle. By candlelight they crept along until they came to a place where the tunnel ended abruptly. But it ended not with a wall, but with a sudden huge nothingness that made them gasp and step back. A few feet beyond their shoes was a sheer, dizzying drop. They looked out into a cave so enormous that it seemed almost as big as the world outside. Far down at the bottom shone a cluster of lights. It's Ember," Lena whispered. They could see the tiny bright streets crossing each other in the squares, little chips of light in the dark top of buildings. Just beyond the edges was the immense darkness. "Our city, Dune? Our city's at the bottom of a hole?" She gazed down through the gulf, and all of what she had believed about the world began to slowly break apart. "It was us," she said. "We were the ones underground, not just the pipeworks, everything." She could hardly make sense of what she was even saying. Dune crouched on his hands and knees, looking over the edge. He squinted, trying to see minute specks that might be people. "What's happening there, I wonder? Could they hear us if we shouted?" "No, I don't think so. We're much too far up." "Maybe if they looked into the sky, they'd see our candles," said Lena. "But no, maybe they wouldn't. The street lamps might be too bright." "Somehow, we have to get word to them," said Dune, and that was when the idea came to Lena. "Our message," she cried. "We can send our message." And they did. From her pocket, Lena took the message that Dune had written, the one that was supposed to have gone to Clary, explaining everything. In small writing, they squeezed in this note at the top. "Dear people of Ember, we came down the river from the pipeworks and found the way to another place. It is green here and very big. Light comes from the sky, and you must follow the instructions in this message and come on the river. Bring food with you. Come as quickly as you can. Lena Mayfleet and Dune Harrow." They wrapped the message in Dune's shirt and put a rock inside it. Then they stood in a row at the edge of the chasm, Dune in the middle holding Poppy's hand and Lena's. Lena took aim at the heart of the city, for beneath her feet, with all her strength, she cast that message into the darkness, and they watched as it plunged down and down and down. Mrs. Murdo, walking even more briskly than usual to keep her spirits up, was crossing Harkin Square when something fell to the pavement just in front of her with a terrible thump. How extraordinary, she thought, bending to pick it up. It was kind of like a bundle, and at that point, she began to untie it. The end. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of our story, The City of Ember. Just so you know, there are other stories in this series. The City of Ember is the first of book 3 of Ember. There's also The People of Sparks, which is the second book of Ember. And you've got The Prophet of Yanwood, which is the third book. And actually, The Diamond of Darkhold is the 4th book. All of them written by Jeanne Duprow. So a continuation of our story. I'm not sure. This is the only one of the 4 that I've read. But if you're interested, go ahead. Jeanne Duprow is the author. And I'll hold up the front cover here, The City of Ember. And there's her name, Jeanne Duprow. Okay? All right, so make sure you guys go back if you haven't. Go back in your memory, think comprehension. What happened in our story? How did they get out of the city of Ember? What was going on with the mayor? Think about the singing. Just go back at the very beginning of the story also. What happened to Granny? What about the message? The box, the special box that the message was kept in. Go back and think of all those things. Okay, if you do not pass the first time, please let me know. I'll delete it and you can go back in and test a second time for AR to try to get those 9 points. Okay, so good luck everybody. And I don't know, it's kind of sad we're done. I haven't decided if I'm going to read another story. There's only a few weeks left to school. We'll see if I can maybe find a short one. Tales of the Fourth Grade Nothing is a pretty short book. Maybe I'll read that one. We'll see. But probably for the next day or two, I won't, and we can talk about it on Hangouts when we get there. All right, you guys, good luck, and have a great rest of your day. Bye now.